Premier League predictions. I think last will be Sheffield United. They've lost 4 of their key players from last year in James McAtee, Tommy Doyle, Sander Berge to Burnley, and Iliman Ndiaye, who was a key player for them last season. That's a huge miss. I think they'll finish dead last. They'll be very poor against every team. In 19th, I'm going to put Luton Town because Luton just don't have the squad ready for the Premier League. They've made some nice additions. I think Kabore and Ross Barkley are good additions. But the squad is severely lacking, so I don't see them surviving. Right, in 18th, I've got Nottingham Forest. And I just am not impressed by Nottingham Forest signings either. Elanga is an okay player, but he hasn't shown enough promise. And their squad is just not going to cope well, and they're going to suffer second season syndrome. Right, in 17th, barely surviving, I'm going to have Wolves. Wolves are a disaster club at the moment. They've just sacked their manager and brought in Gary O'Neill. I don't rate him very much. I think he'll be sacked as well, but I think someone will keep them up. They do have enough players in there to defeat the 3 clubs below them. They have lost quite a few key players, including Raul Jimenez, Ruben Neves, Nathan Collins, but I think they have the know-how and the ability to survive in the Premier League. So in 16th, I'm going to have Everton. Again, I don't think they've made too many signings that have really shook anyone to their core, but I think they always survive. They'll probably still sack Dyche and bring in some other coach who will keep them up. So I think they'll just have enough, but they'll be in a dogfight for sure. Right, so in 15th, I'm going to go with West Ham. They've barely made any signings. They're still in European competition. I think the signings that they are linked with aren't that massively impressive. I think they'll be in a relegation scrap. In 14th, I've gone with Bournemouth. I like Iraola. He's a good coach, and I think he's done good things at Rayo Vallecano and CD Mirandas. I like his attacking-minded style, and I think players like Ouattara, Solanke, and new additions such as Kirkes will thrive in his system. So in 13th, and I'm surprised I put them this high, Fulham. Fulham have an okay squad. They're probably going to lose Mitrovic, which isn't great, but I think they still have enough to finish above most of the sides above them. I don't think they'll go down. I think they will be in a relegation fight at some point, but they'll be fine. So in 12th we have Burnley, the last of the newly promoted sides, and Vincent Kompany is cooking. They've signed way too many wingers, but that doesn't matter. They've got a quality squad. They absolutely stormed the championship last season, one of the best championship seasons in history, so they'll definitely finish mid-table at least. In 11th, I've gone with Brentford. Missing Ivan Toney is pretty bad, but a lot of clubs have lost players before, and they've been alright. They've kept their cool. So there will be a slight drop-off, but I think they will have enough, and Frank is a good coach. In 10th, making the top half, is Crystal Palace. Now, I don't think Roy Hodgson will last the season, and if he does, I can see him getting top half, but he'll probably get sacked, but I'm not sure to be honest. Now, Palace have lost Zaha, which is a big miss, but Eze, Elise, they'll be fine. They'll do alright, I think. It depends what system they play. I also like the addition of Franca. Right, so in 9th we've got Brighton, and this is a big drop-off from their spectacular 6th place, but they shouldn't be unhappy with this position. It's a really good position. It's top half still. They've recruited very well, likes of James Milner, João Pedro, Dahoud, really good signings. I really like them, but I think Europa League will push them, and so they won't be quite as consistent. So in 8th, I'm going to go with Aston Villa, and I think Unai Emery is cooking something. I really like Moussa Diaby. I think he's a quality player. Pau Torres, linked with big clubs in the past, top player. But you know what? I don't think they're going to get Europe this year. I think they're going to be distracted by the Conference League, and I think they may slip up a few areas. They weren't too consistent in the last few games of last season. I know they went on that amazing run, but that sort of faltered towards the end. But I think they'll still have a really good season. Right, that means in 7th, getting the likely Conference League spot is Tottenham. Ange Postecoglou is the new coach who's come in. He's got an attacking-minded style. Yes, they're losing Kane, but I think there's still enough quality to finish in the top half, likes of Son, Kulusevski. If they do the heavy lifting, I think they can still secure European football. If they keep Kane, they'll definitely finish in Europe. If they don't, they might slip down to 8th or 9th. So in 6th, I've gone with Newcastle, a slight drop-off from last season's spectacular performance. The likes of Sandro Tonali, great signing. Livramento, a little young, a little unproven, but a good signing. Harvey Barnes as well was a star man in Leicester City squad. I think he's a good addition as well. I think they'll still get Europa League football. Champions League will keep them a little distracted. Right, so in 5th, I've gone with Chelsea, a huge improvement on last season's disaster. I don't think they'll get Champions League football. I think their squad is too much overhaul in the last 2 years, and I think there's too many unproven players in there. They could even finish lower, to be honest to you. I'm putting all my faith in Pochettino. I think he's a quality coach, and if he proves me wrong, then I'll do. So in 4th, I'm going to go with Manchester United, just securing Champions League football again. I think Ten Hag did bits last season, but he wasn't massively impressive all the time. And there were some really poor results in there, like the 7-0 loss to Liverpool, the Europa League disaster. Again, they made solid additions. Onana's a good goalkeeper. The likes of Højlund and Mason Mount, as well as Johnny Evans, are all decent additions. However, I don't think they have a squad capable of challenging for the title. I think there's still problems in the Man United hierarchy, to be honest. I think there's problems in that squad with overinflated egos. So in 3rd place, I'm going to go with Arsenal, and I really like Arsenal's additions. The likes of Jurrien Timber, Declan Rice, even Kai Havertz to some degree are all really top quality players on their day. They're all world class when they're fully fit and absolutely on top form. And they can definitely challenge for the league again, but I think they will falter in some places. And again, Champions League football, that's going to be a big distraction. I can see them faltering in some areas in the league. Right, so in 2nd, I'm going to go with Liverpool. And Jurgen Klopp really struggled last year. They finished 5th, but I think, they're going through a midfield rebuild at the moment, but there's still enough quality in that midfield. Szoboszlai is a good addition. McAllister won the World Cup with Argentina, did bits at Brighton. They have quality in there. I'm not worried about them. They'll definitely finish top 4. Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic with 2nd, but I think they've got the quality in that squad with the likes of Salah, Trent, Van Dijk, Alisson, all still there. And I'm going to go with, you've guessed it, Man City. Wow, big surprise, big shock. They're going to win the league. Every time they have Haaland in their squad, you just don't think you have a chance, do you, to be honest? And they've just signed another defender for nearly 80 million that you could argue they don't really need, to be honest. And they're about to sign Paqueta, potentially. He's a good player. I know he struggled at West Ham, but he is a good player. I know he is. So I just can't see anyone else winning the league, to be honest with you. Those are my predictions. I'm going to get loads of these wrong, but you never know. So see you later and enjoy your day.